Hello there, welcome to my video recap of the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. Let me just go ahead and save you some time here by saying that if you're currently an Android user and are someone that enjoys having as many bells and whistles to tinker with, I could probably say that this is absolutely one of the best phones out there if you're looking to upgrade and actually can afford that premium price tag that this phone demands. Aside from that, if you do have a few minutes here, we can go over the main features and see how it's performed so far for me. So stick around. Alright guys, so how about we just go ahead and go over the main features of the device as quickly as possible here. We've got 32 gigabytes of storage on this device. They're also available in 64 gigabytes. Color scheme on this one is silver titanium. The other configurations available are black or a shade of gold. And in this case, my cell provider is T-Mobile, through whom I actually pre-ordered the device. I usually don't pre-order phones or hardware in general. I wait for the reviews to come out, but in this case I was too excited about the announcement that Samsung had made about getting a free virtual reality headset, their brand being Gear VR, with each pre-order. So I went ahead and pulled the trigger and signed up for the promotion. What T-Mobile did was actually jump the gun. They mailed their phones much earlier than the general release date. I received mine a couple of days ago and have already submitted my request for the Gear VR promotion. Um, so that's one of the main features that this phone has, that it's compatible with that headset device that Samsung has. So it's a great feature that is not actually listed on the box here. But let's just go over the general specs that we have here. 4G LTE capability. That's gonna vary depending on your cell provider and also their coverage. I live in a city, in a pretty fairly big city, and I don't usually have any problems with coverage. But then, like I said, that can vary depending on where you are. You have a 64-bit quad core processor. That's going to mean that you're going to have plenty of power to run any application, any game on this phone. They're pretty amazing nowadays how much they can accomplish with fitting hardware inside of these phones. 4 gigabytes of RAM. That's a step up over my older phone. I actually used to have a Nexus 6 device, which happened to die not too long ago. The screen on this phone is actually 5.5 inches Quad HD Super AMOLED, something similar to what this phone is. But the main difference is that the bezel on the Galaxy S7 Edge is actually so much slimmer that it actually helps out with the handprint. Like actually, you can hold it in your hand. The form factor uh, over the Nexus phones, which are pretty big and bulky. Um, Now, the next feature would be a 12 megapixel dual pixel main camera. Um, they actually reduced the amount of pixels from the previous version of this S class phone. I believe it used to be a couple pixels higher, megapixels higher. What they claim is that it'll be better quality, taking more light into the camera sensor and giving you a better quality picture instead of more just megapixels. Um, 5 megapixel front facing camera. Uh, we'll see how that goes. It's a step above other cameras. It should be just fine for taking self-portrait pictures. IP68 dust proof and water resistance. That's something that they touted. Actually, it was missing on the previous configuration of this phone, the S6. It was missing. A lot of people missed it from the S5, and now it's back. And we'll take a look at how that works later on. Wireless charging. I personally don't own any accessories that would help me out with that. As you can see, charging pad required, sold separately. Nice feature to have. In the future, we'll see how it works out. I believe it's much quicker to just charge your phone with a plugging it in straight to the wall instead of waiting for the wireless charging. Next feature is secured by Samsung Knox. If we read down here, is what Samsung Knox is a hardware-based security platform built into Galaxy devices that provides enhanced protection for both users and businesses. Basically, it's just software and hardware protection that will help you from getting hacked. It'll prevent you getting hacked, and also I believe it helps you with a remote wiping your phone information if you happen to lose it or have it stolen. So that's nice that Samsung invests on some of that phone security on their devices. So like I said before, this phone has a 32 gigabyte memory capacity. And support for external micro SD cards. That's great that they've included that again. It was a feature that was missing in the previous phone. I remember having it on my older Samsung S3s, which it was nice to have a removable battery cover and be able to just insert your SIM card and your memory card to expand the memory. It's great to have it back. This phone still doesn't have a removable back cover, but hopefully that'll be included in some future versions of other phones that Samsung releases. And like we already know, Android operating system and Samsung Pay, which if you have grocery stores that support Samsung Pay, that comes in pretty handy as well. So that's the basic features, guys. If you just stick around for a bit more, we'll go ahead and take a look at what's inside the box. Let's see what's inside. So voila, here's the main event here. We've got our phone. Really nice feel in the hand compared to phones in its category like my Nexus 6. One of my biggest complaints about the phone, and I think everybody can agree that whoever owned this a Nexus 6 device before, they probably noticed that they were huge in hand, just really difficult to operate, texting or otherwise without actually using two hands. So in this case, this phone, even though it does have that really nice big screen, it can still be used with one-handed operation. I've found no issues trying to use or type with this phone with just one hand. I never felt like it would be falling off my hand by just holding it in one hand. So that is fantastic. Also, on this specific version of the S7, the S7 Edge, what I had my concerns about was regarding that exactly the edge on the screen. One of the features on this phone is that it has that curvature on the sides, both sides, and when holding in hand, I thought I would have issues with it picking up some swipes that I wasn't intending, but it surprisingly very satisfied with the fact that it actually does not. It's I don't know what kind of software Samsung had to do for that, but amazingly it only picks up what I actually wanted to do. So kudos to Samsung for that. The only thing is when actually looking at things online, if you're browsing on the phone, is that you kind of see when in person, you'll notice there's a sort of a shadow on the edges. So I found that a bit odd. You do get used to it, not that big a deal, but every once in a while, it kind of feels like having something on the edge of your eyesight, and just like that little shadow there because of that curvature on the screen, on the glass. But otherwise, it's amazing. Very nice screen, great quality. So let's go ahead and just keep on looking through the box here. Didn't get much there. Then you have this little box which brings all the quick start guide, just some information, tidbits on the hardware, terms and conditions. You have that little key to remove or insert your SIM card. Then there's some hardware here that comes with the phone. Is the Samsung charger that comes included. Like I was saying, with phones that have this big a battery capacity, you need something that charges faster. In this case, what the Samsung is calling it is adaptive fast charging. Basically, it has two modes. It has either a 1.67 amp milliamp, I'm sorry, in this case it's actually amps, battery, or a 2.0 amp charging. So it should be quick, fairly quick. In my case, I found it that it would probably charge fully in about an hour and a half. Again, I haven't had any issues with the battery not lasting long enough, so I've actually just been trickle charging, just topping it off every once in a while. Haven't had any issues with worrying about the battery running out on me at all. But it's nice to have a fast charging device with this phone. Then one of the main complaints I've heard about this phone connectivity wise is that it has a standard USB connector, micro USB connector, which is what's become a standard in most phones. And a lot of phones nowadays are starting to come out. The newer flagships are starting to come out with the USB-C type connector. This is still using the older connection, which I don't mind, because most phones out there, since they do use that the micro USB connector, you won't have as hard a time to perhaps borrow somebody's charger if you were to need it, or accessories in general. You'll find a better gamut available. But it would have been nice to future-proof this device if it had come with a USB-C type connector. I'm sure the next device from Samsung will probably have that feature. Then we have this little connector here that actually has a standard USB, I want to say 2.0. I don't think it's a 3.0 connector. And then on this side you have a USB, micro USB connector, which basically what you do is plug in to the phone here, and then you actually plug in this cable or any other USB cable here into another phone. And what it does is through the quick start setup that I did when I got the phone, is that it actually guides you and helps you move information between perhaps your older phone to this new phone that you have here. So that's a pretty neat little included hardware that they put in there with the new phone. And then I believe here we have a small case, which really nice to see. I haven't had a phone come with headsets in a while, earphones. This actually has a little case, and it comes with these headphones. Actually, earphones here that have removable pieces here, and you have a spare set right here. Not bad. I mean, quality sounds okay. It's I mean, it's included in the box. It's not going to be the most amazing pair of headphones, but it sounds okay. It'll do the trick if you happen to not have any other headphones around. I just thought it was a nice feature. I remember premium phones back in the day coming with headphones, then started to notice that none of them did, I believe just to cut the costs. But thank you, Samsung, for kind of putting in those little touches. Extra hardware always is nice to have, just in case. Alright guys, so I'm just going to go ahead and show you a few pictures and videos that I was able to capture with this device. Since I liked a newer phone, I went ahead and grabbed a Lumia 925, which back in its day when it came out, it had one of the best picture qualities available for a phone. So I just wanted to put this phone through its paces and compare it to that older phone. So let's just go ahead and see here. Only thing about the Galaxy S7 Edge is that In proper lighting conditions, you probably don't need that HDR feature that it has. It comes enabled automatically as a default. I would probably turn it off if you have plenty of light. If you need a little boost in color in darker situations, then I'll probably suggest you do turn it on instead of using flash. Flash is probably the last alternative. As you'll see in one of these pictures here, you never want to use flash. And in lower light conditions, the the image on the S7 Edge does quite well, not bad at all. Aside from that, what I can say is that self-portrait images, the front-facing camera, it's a 5 megapixel camera. It does the job. It's pretty quick. It's clear enough, crisp. I've noticed that it doesn't focus on items that are too close to it. Not that big of a deal. The older phone did much better actually in that respect, but image quality wise, much better colors on the front facing camera, and of course the rear camera did amazing, captured details much better than the older phone, and in general just performed really well. It has a plethora of alternatives. You can go through a bunch of settings. Aside from just the HDR mode, you have other effects that you can apply on the images that you're taking. It actually has a grid in which it shows you multiple versions of the image that you're about to take, and different effects that apply to it. I want to show you a few videos here with different settings on. Video wise, also pretty nice step up above this older phone. And what struck me most is the stability of the video compared to the older phone. I mean, you still see a little moving of the video. You'll see how it wiggles about, it waggles. It's much better now than compared to the older phone that I have, which just makes the screen completely unusable. The image is just terrible. I just wanted to quickly go over a few features here on the phone, just general stuff like the web browser. Loads up real quickly. You'll see right now. I'll load up a couple of websites just to show you. Snappy, because of that monster of a processor, it just won't have any issues with regular browsing. In most tasks you put it through, it just won't have any issue. So just wanted to show you that. You'll see that little shade or shadow you have on the edges because of that curvature I was telling you about earlier. It's not a big deal, really. You get used to it after a while. And like I said, it's just amazing. It has a real good real estate for keyboards, either horizontal or vertical. Plenty of space. You can either type with one hand or two hand. I haven't experienced any issues with that. And yeah, pretty smooth phone, pretty smooth performance, not an issue. Like I was saying, this phone will be coming with actually allow me to get a Gear VR thanks to the pre-order that Samsung set up for us. Here's the app tray, the notification tray up top, and like I was saying, it doesn't pick up the accidental swiping from the edges. But if I do actually want to open something, it will open it, and then you have the edge panel screen here where you get to choose which applications you have a shortcut to on that edge screen. Also remember that these phones have multi-application. You can actually split screen applications and whatnot. Here's the briefing app, which comes set as a default. I never use it, so what you can do is actually from this screen, I can also adjust the screen grid, which is pretty awesome, pretty useful, I gotta say. If you want a little bit more real estate, you can just go ahead and do, instead of 4x4 grid, 5x5. What it'll do is actually resample the widget's resolution. and so you'll notice that it'll look smaller. In my case, since I just like to keep my home screens pretty simple, I just go ahead and make them even bigger, easier to read. With the screen resolution on this phone, it's so amazing that you really just don't see any any details that you don't want to see. You see everything's crisp and sharp. So I just go ahead and just oversample it, make it bigger, and it'll work. But if you have a small application, small widgets that you want to insert into your screen, you can just go ahead and do that with that extra feature. And then you can, if you want to get rid of that Flipboard briefing app, you just go ahead and turn it off right there. And once you start swiping, you won't be able to have access to it, which is what I like, because I'd never use that thing ever. So that's it. Pretty snappy, nice phone. So here I just wanted to go ahead and quickly show you how the phone performs with a video game. This is a Fallout Shelter here. If you played the game before, you'll know that it has a lot of small things going on with it. The image quality, if you zoom it all the way in, it's amazing. It just gives you a lot of details. The screen it's gorgeous. The dark tones, as you can see, that AMOLED screen just it gives you the colors, the dark, amazing contrast on it is it's great. And you know, colors, regular colors tend to pop out a bit more than they would on an LCD screen, and just details. The resolution on this one is amazing. The other tidbit I would like to throw in is about this feature here that Samsung threw in for games in general. It has just the settings for recording, screenshot, minimize games, and stuff like that. Pretty handy if you like to use that kind of stuff. Well, all right then. So just a couple more things I wanted to wrap up this video with are some details I missed out, like the notification light here on the top left corner, which I actually missed when switching out from my S3 to other phones that do not have that notification light. It's useful to have. You don't have to waste your battery turning on the screen, and it also lets you know when it's actually charging, so that's useful. You also have the home button that can also act as a fingerprint sensor. I personally do not use that feature, but I know that some people find it handy for security purposes or whatnot. And lastly, one of the main features, one of the biggest advertised features is its waterproofness. So here we go. Boom. It works just fine. Has no sort of issues. Just being dipped in water. I believe the specifications do list out that it can be dipped into water for up to 5 feet and can stand it for about 30 minutes. I personally wouldn't push it. Up to you if you do, but I can tell you that if you just want to perhaps go ahead and dip it in a bowl of water, or if you happen to drop a cup of coffee throughout your day, you shouldn't have to worry about it. It seems to handle it just fine, so that's pretty great. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you for tuning into this video. I do apologize if it turned out to be a bit too long for you, but yeah, I just wanted to give you as many details as possible about the device. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll keep you posted about the VR headset and in future videos. Thanks a lot. Take care.